Hi, hope you're having a great day. You're watching JUG Entertainment, and for this video, I'm going over Star Wars Tales of the Jedi. And for this video specifically, I'm focusing on the first reactions and reviews of Tales of the Jedi, as well as just giving you a little more info, including the runtime of each episode and the titles and just the runtime of the show in general, at least for season 1. So yeah, let's get started with just that information, and then I'm going to give you a breakdown on how this video is going to work. So first of all, let's get started with the titles of each episode and the runtime of each episode. Episode 1 is going to be titled Life and Death, and it's going to be 17 minutes long, so it's going to be really short. Episode 2 is going to be called Justice, and it's going to be 14 minutes long. Episode 3 is going to be called The Sith Lord, and it's going to be 13 minutes long. And this one's most definitely going to be focusing on Dooku, just by the title itself, The Sith Lord. So yeah. Then episode 4 is going to be called Practice Makes Perfect, which is going to be 15 minutes long. Then episode 5 is going to be called Coda, which is 10 minutes long, which is going to be the shortest episode of the season. And then episode 6 is going to be called Choices, which is going to be 14 minutes long. So yeah, if you want to just have a quick list here, well, here you go. Here's a quick list. Super short episodes. In fact, the total general season 1, I guess that's what we call it. I don't know if it's going to be multiple seasons, but for right now, what I would call season 1 of this show is going to be 83 minutes long, which is really short. It's like an hour and a little bit under a half, so an hour and a little bit under a half. So yeah, you can pretty much bench it all, and it's going to be a pretty fun bench apparently. So yeah, let's get started now with the first reviews to see what critics are saying about this show. And the way this format of the video is going to work is that I'm going to go to a site, which is I'm just did right now, and I'm going to put the tweet right here, and I'm going to read it, but you can also pause the video if you want to read it yourself, and then I'm going to give you a quick breakdown of what the things trying to say. So yeah, also keep in mind it's gonna have a total of 7 different critics that reviewed the show. So yeah, just keep in mind you want to skip forward to any critic just as you go on and just give a breakdown. You can always do that as well. So yeah, let's get started. And the first one is going to be called Star Wars. It's going to be coming from Star Wars Holocron, and that's what they had to say. They said, Tales of the Jedi is terrific. Excellently connects to the prequels, Clone Wars, and Rebels, and will deepen your appreciation for those stories in unexpected ways. Long-standing Star Wars questions are answered. Episodes are well-paced and an emphasis on story over action. Then he kept going by saying, this series explores Ahsoka in new and interesting ways, and Dooku's arc over his 3 episodes is captivating. Hearing Liam Neeson and his son voice Qui-Gon is a delight. Tales of the Jedi feels like everything great about the prequels in one season of TV. So that's really awesome. So very positive first review. First of all, it really says and focuses how this really enhances the experience of the prequels, Clone Wars, and Rebels. So if you were looking for that, you're a big fan of any of those universes, the corner universe that kind of Dave Filoni has kind of taken over, then definitely you're gonna enjoy this for sure. Also, they said that Ahsoka is really nice to explore, so that's pretty awesome. And same thing for Dooku. Apparently, it's very captivating. And Qui-Gon apparently is really nice in this show, just with the voice in general. That's pretty awesome. So yeah, it just looks like it's gonna be a great mix of the prequels and just keep exploring the prequels more, which is really awesome. Basically, what Clone Wars season 7 gave us, and I love Clone Wars season 7, so I'm 100% more down for this, and I'm sure you are too. Now let's keep going, and this one's gonna come from Eric Whiteley, which if you might know him from Blind Wave. If you watch any of those reactions, he's in Blind Wave. So yeah, that's what to say. Tales of the Jedi takes 2 very different characters and asks them the same question: why should you play fair in an unfair galaxy? I'll never watch Dooku scenes the same way, and I'll never stop wondering what could have been if Qui-Gon Jinn had survived the duel of the fates. So that's really, really interesting. So he has a very positive reaction review. First of all, I really like the way that he kind of explained the concept of how they have these 2 different characters, Ahsoka and Dooku, and how they ask the question, why should you play fair in an unfair galaxy? I think it's a really interesting kind of concept for the show that apparently they explore really well. And apparently just by him saying that he's never going to see Dooku scenes the same way, that just means that they really develop Dooku's viewpoint and everything, which I'm really excited to see. And once again, they mentioned Qui-Gon, so clearly Qui-Gon did leave an impression in this show, and I'm very curious to see exactly what that impression is. Alright, let's keep going, and the next one's going to come from Rob. And Rob had a lot of things to say, starting with, Tales of the Jedi is going to be a hit. This show crafts 2 beautiful, character-driven stories over long periods of time, and it just works. The dual stories of Ahsoka and Dooku blend well and give you 2 perspectives of the Jedi Order alongside with what it means to be one. He also kept going by saying, Dooku's story was a blessing in disguise. Didn't know what to expect, but they sure knew what to give the fans. The 3 episodes give you the context for a lot of events of the films and a deeper look into the motifs and psychic of Dooku. So that's really interesting. And then he kept going by saying, and here comes the Ahsoka splurge. My favorite character in the history of Star Wars, and seeing her past was beautiful. If anyone loves that character as much as I do, you will not be disappointed. So yeah, this is another very first positive reaction review coming from Rob. And first of all, I started with what he said. Once again, it crafts these two beautiful stories of these two different characters, and it's going to be character driven. Now, what really interested me from what he said is that it takes place over long periods of times. So it's not going to be like one episode is this, and then the next episode is the next day or the next hour. No, it's going to be like over the years, through the course of the years. And you can see that just by Qui-Gon. He's young in some parts of the trailer. He's old in the other parts. Ahsoka's a baby in parts of the trailer. She's already back in the Jedi Order in another part of the trailer. So it's going to be taking place over periods of time, which I think is going to be really interesting, and I really like that. And it also says that these two perspectives just blend very well because they ask kind of the same question and what it means to be a Jedi. So that's really, really nice. They were really impressed also with Dooku's story, which has been a pattern that we keep seeing, because they really give fans the kind of understanding of Dooku's kind of thinking, which I really, really like. And Ahsoka, they say that they really knocked out of the park with Ahsoka, really doing some really nice stuff. They didn't say specifically what, but they just said you will not be disappointed. So Ahsoka fans, get ready. I'm super excited. Alright, let's keep going. And this one comes from John Hoey, and that's what to say. Wow, Tales of the Jedi exceeded expectations. Filoni and team hit us with a legitimate canon expanding moments. The fourth episode dropped my jaw and made me think of George Lucas. And Kevin Kinner serves as an important reminder that classical score always elevates Star Wars best. So that's really awesome. Another very positive pressure review. He generally looks shocked just by that wow in all caps. And then he says that the fourth episode legitimately dropped his jaw. So that means that the fourth episode is probably going to be the best one in the series. So that's really nice. And it says that, you know, since it is canon, it really expands the canon of this universe. And the moments, it gives them a lot more meaning. So I'm really curious to see it. And apparently the score is also really awesome, as really praising Kevin Kinner, who apparently really elevated the story with the score. And apparently the story also reminded him of George Lucas, so it really reminds you of classic Star Wars, which is just great. So that's really awesome. Alright, moving on to the next version review, and this one comes from Ashley Saunders, who says, Tales of the Jedi is peak Star Wars storytelling. It's thrilling, intriguing, and emotional with rich animation and plenty of surprises. The action and suspense are paired beautifully. Filoni proves once again why he is a Star Wars master. And I'm still not over episodes 4 and 5. So it was another very positive impression review. Once again, we're really trying to see these patterns about how it's really intriguing, it's emotional, and that's really nice. That's emotional. In fact, I saw a bunch of people say that they cried and that I couldn't include in this video, but a lot of people were saying that they cried. So have some tissues, especially if you're somebody that knows that cries a lot whenever a thing gets emotional. Right, bring some tissues, because apparently it will make you cry. Apparently the animation is also really nice, which is really nice to just hear that the animation is nice, so that's great. And there were surprises. They specifically said there's plenty of surprises, so I'm very curious on that. The action apparently is great, and the suspense is beautiful, which all this just sounds to me like Clone Wars Season 7, especially the last 4 episodes, which is just great. And they praise Filoni once again for just being awesome. And once again, they mentioned Episode 4 as being one of the best, and also Episode 5. So keep a watch out for those 2 episodes specifically, because they seem like they're going to be the best. Alright, moving on to the next first version review, and this one comes from Christian Harloff, who says, Wow, episode 1 to 6 of Tales of the Jedi is just premier Star Wars. The animation, sound design, and incredible score by Kevin Kinner, just powerful. Episode 4 might be one of the best episodes of Star Wars animation, maybe ever. Kevin Kinner should be scoring for live action television. Alright, so this is really another positive pressure review. They really praise again the score, which is awesome. They say that Kevin Kinner should be there scoring for live action television, which means that his score here was just incredible. So I can't really wait to hear the score and the scenes. I'm sure it's going to be awesome, and that's really, really great. They also mentioned once again episode 4 and saying that it might be one of the best, if not the best, Star Wars animated episode ever. So keep a lookout for that episode 4. It really looks like it's going to be really nice, so just keep a lookout for that one. Alright, moving on to the next version review, and this is the last version review that I'm going over. And this one comes from Josh, and this way he says, Tales of the Jedi is a joy to watch. It's also a great companion series to the Clone Wars, in many ways. It's got some really fun stuff, but it's quite dark when it needs to be. With appearances from familiar faces and new layered stories, it allows for some interesting world building. He also added, so cool to see Ahsoka back in action, and just as bad as ever, even coming against an Inquisitor. The show/format has some great potential in terms of storytelling and opens the door to hearing more earlier stories of so many great Star Wars characters. Don't miss it. So another very positive impression review just to end off the video. First of all, and the first thing I really want to focus on is the Ahsoka back in action in live action is apparently really awesome, so I really can't wait for that. And apparently her coming against an Inquisitor is going to be super awesome, so I'm really excited for that. I'm also really hyped up that he said that the show and the format really lends itself to even more storytelling with a bunch of other characters. So I think if this first season is successful, they will keep doing more with a bunch of other characters, maybe Mace Windu and so on and so on. So definitely make sure to watch the series just so we can get even more of the actual story for all those characters. I think it's going to be super awesome. So that's great. He also just said that it really is a companion series to Clone Wars. So if you're a big fan of Clone Wars like I am, you're going to love this stuff. And it says that it can be fun, but it hits the dark notes when it needs to be, which is just great. Familiar appearances, familiar faces, you're going to Mace Windu, Yaddle, all those characters, Qui-Gon Jinn, and so on are going to appear in this series. So that's great. And it's just really going to focus on the world building of Star Wars universe in general. So yeah, that's all the first reactions and reviews that I got for you in this video. Tell me what you think about it down in the comments. Does this make you more hyped up for the series? What exactly are you looking to watch in this series? Dooku's story, Ahsoka's backstory, Qui-Gon Jinn returning with Liam Neeson voicing him, and so on and so on. Tell me what you're looking forward down in the comments. I'm very curious. As well as please leave a like if you enjoyed this video. It will be very helpful. So please leave a like and subscribe for a lot of the content. I would definitely be reviewing Tales of the Jedi whenever it comes out next week, as well as maybe ranking the episodes and the characters and so on and so on. So make sure to subscribe for all the content of Star Wars. I'm also covering Andor currently, so subscribe for all the Andor coverage that I'm making in my channel. And yeah, that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And this is Jedi Entertainment, out.